Wow, yeah, that's a good question. I was not prepared for that. Um,
We'll come back to it. We can
so
come back to it if you
no,
want.
I mean, from there are a few points, but basically targeting the low competition keywords from the beginning. Of course, that's one part. And I actually went even further. So there's this other cool Danish guy. You had him on. His name is Morten Skolgo or something like that.
Storgard.
And yes, and yeah, okay, you of course you with the English accent, Storgard. It sounds more cool to be honest, but and he talks about just getting these get some posts out on something that there is literally no one else covering. So I did a few of those and some KTR, and I decided 4 months old, sorry, and I'm already seeing a few visitors per day, so I think that's a good sign.
Awesome.
And yeah,
Yeah, I think that's one of I've watched. Yeah, Morton's been on the show, so people could check out some of this stuff, and he has a great YouTube channel. He mentions that as part of his keyword research, where he's really aiming not just for like low competition, but to be the only piece of content on a certain thing, which is pretty tough. But if you keep digging and digging, you may be able to find some obscure corner in a small niche that you're able to find. How hard was it to find some of those keywords? Was it pretty tough?
no, I don't think it was. Maybe I was lucky, but and I think they're good for new sites, which I believe is the purpose, right? I haven't seen that many of his videos, so maybe I don't want to put his like my own words in his mouth, but I think the purpose is for complete new sites. So I am ranking number one for should be two, maybe three now, and that's great. But the traffic is very little, right? So ranking, so you need a lot of them if you, and of course the KTRs, they get you a lot more traffic. So
Yeah. And I guess, those two things working together help you go after like a wide range of low competition keywords, even though they're all going to
yeah,
be like pretty low volume. The ones where like no one has written anything, like those are pretty obscure. Those are going to be pretty long terms, I bet. So, and how much traffic do you get on the like in the couple posts where you're ranking
it's
really high?
just in total somewhere like two, three per day.
Okay.
So that's what
Yeah.
what you get from ranking number one.
You need a lot of those. You need a lot of those. So, okay. So, we'll probably come back a bit to the new site, but I want to shift to mastermind groups and like talking to people who are working on the same kind of stuff as you. We highlighted that when you were on before, and I'm just curious, like have you always been someone who wanted to like form groups and whether it's like study groups or whatever, but have you been drawn to groups like that?
No, it's, it has to be the opposite, to be honest. I always feel like let someone else do that. I'm definitely not gonna waste my time trying to organize something.
So what?
And
Yeah. So how'd you shift over?
I was forced to by my old boss, and it was actually a really great experience. It was a lot of fun, more fun than I thought. Of course, also a lot of work, but it turns out sometimes work can be fun, you know.
Yeah.
And after that experience, I thought I'm gonna try to do something similar, and this mastermind group was was an option. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And with the mastermind group that you're in right now, you're actually looking for a new member. So I'll share the material and information that people need to know in the show notes and description. But keeping everything, confidential, there's a lot of trust in a mastermind group. But like, what do you guys talk about? How is it structured, and what are you getting out of it? What is the group getting out of it?
Yeah. So actually, just a correction. Actually, we're looking for. I put it in the. I have. There's a link that you can click on, and you can go to a Google Forms, and you can get some more information. You'll fill it out, and maybe I'll contact you. But anyway, we're actually looking for 1 to 2 persons. So depending on who is applying, of
All right.
course. Yeah. So what do we get out of it? In the beginning, I had a agenda with like a long laundry list of stuff. We have to do this, 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 which was I think helpful to get it off from the beginning. But it's more. It can be so much better if it's more casual. But if I mean you have to avoid it turning into something more like a I don't know if this is even an English word, but like a coffee club where you just sit and chill and drink coffee. So we don't do that. So we do actually talk about stuff that's relevant for having success with your niche site. So we talk about well, I think we let each other explain what we are working on and what we have done and what kind of problems we have encountered and how we might want to figure out how to solve it, and then other people can give some suggestions. We share some knowledge, and yeah, I think that sums it up.
Cool.
It's fun. Yeah.
As far as talking to people that understand what you're working on and some of the challenges, how has the group helped you address that? Because probably, right, in your professional job, if you start talking about SEO, people are not going to be interested and they won't even really know what you're talking about. So how has that helped you?
Yeah, it does help you a lot. It just feels like suddenly you can actually talk with someone about this who is not someone you're writing to, because talking and being face to face, it's not the same as writing, for sure.
Yeah.
It's not. And yeah, I do have no one in my circle of friends who know what I'm doing. Um, I remember once when my friend checked out my previous interview, and you put that my site was could be evaluated at $30,000, and he was, what the hell? You have a site that's worth so much money? And I told him, yeah, it could be. I'm not gonna sell it. Maybe I should have sold it, by the way. But
Timing.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have no idea what I'm doing, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And I run into that too with, family members or even friends that I worked with when I had my corporate gig, especially with the stupid headlines that I put out sometimes where, I mean, most of the time it's like interviewing someone else now, but yeah, if someone starts digging in, they would think like, what are you even doing? Like I used to work in the cube next to some, just just my friends over there. All right. When you're in the mastermind group, like what's the agenda like these days? Now that it's you sort of run through your tighter agenda, the laundry list. So what does a meeting typically look like now?
I think we got to know each other at such a level that I remember what they said last time and the last time and the last time. Like now we used to have sessions twice a month. Now we only do them once a month. I think that works well for us, at least right now. But I can just ask the other guy, oh, what about you did this and that and this and that, and how did that go, and what did you learn? So we don't use an agenda anymore. So
Cool. How many people are in the group right now?
we are only three, so that's
Three.
why we're looking for. We used to be four, but one guy he quit because it made a lot of sense for him, and I think it was fine for him to, I mean, use his time differently, and he was doing something else which made no sense for him to meet with us anymore. So
Right. And we talked off air, and just to add a little more, it's like the person's working on a different kind of business model. So it's like you guys are working on different problems, and you have a network. Your network is expanding, but you're not. He's not meeting with you guys anymore. Okay, got it. And what are you looking for? I know people could check out the questionnaire, but yeah, what kind of a person, just in general?
just I guess you have to be a little bit ambitious, right? So maybe I don't need to to say that, but people who want to get something done. Yeah.